This exhibition shows how, as architects and urbanists, we have touched many different aspects of civic life, whether that's the workplace, the importance of culture, mobility, healing, health, a holistic view of design. For the visitor, it starts with the earliest years. As an architect and urbanist, I go back more than 6 decades. So the visitor is introduced to issues which are now called sustainability or green architecture. At the time, we were concerned about how buildings might work with nature, open up to light and views, natural ventilation, fresh air, recycling, harvesting water, harvesting energy, all the things which are now currently in the public domain. But at that time, going back to the 1960s, were revolutionary and very much part of a movement which had identified at that time the fragility of the practice, is now perhaps mainstream. If we touched on those individual aspects, the workplace, humanizing the workplace, not only introducing sunlight and views, but a lifestyle, the community aspect of work, bringing in swimming pools, for example, in the Willis Faber headquarters, landscaped areas on the roof, and developing that over the decades, most recently for Apple in Cupertino, Bloomberg, for example, in the historic financial centre of London. Perhaps the ultimately sustainable building is the building which is already there and which can be recycled in the same way that we talk about recycling waste to energy. Recycling a building, regenerating it, whether that is a historic building like the Reichstag, transforming it into a new seat of government for a reunified Germany, or whether it's taking a warehouse from a past age of fossil fuel and demonstrating that that can be an exercise in sustainability, to enlarge it with public gardens, to break down the barriers between the private world inside and the public of the community of which it's an important part. The importance of culture, the performing arts, the visual arts, and breaking down the barriers, for example, in the Sainsbury Centre, the visiting public, private collection, but also academia, introducing under one roof spaces for the study of art. So dissolving the boundaries between the world of students and the visiting public, so that they can both share the great works of art in the what was once the private collection of Sir Robert and Lady Sainsbury. So if we talk about well-being and technology, it embraces the workplace and shows the power of technology to improve the quality of life. And you could argue that the quality of design directly affects the quality of life for all of us, whether that's within an individual building, the place where we work, or a public space where we gather and come together. The city, we could simplistically say, is about the infrastructure of public spaces and connections. The boulevards, the squares, the bridges, the links, the connections. Think of it as the urban glue which binds together the individual buildings. And that determines the DNA, the identity of a city. And a city is constantly evolving and changing. So as urbanists, we're working with the public domain, transforming, rebalancing the needs of mobility, of traffic, and the pedestrian, evolving to make the city more beautiful, more habitable, more healthy, more desirable, more pedestrian friendly, and looking to the future, engaging with research organizations, NASA, the European Space Agency, to demonstrate how we can create habitations, lunar habitations, Martian habitations, faster connectivity on the planet through Hyperloop, for example. One of the challenges is not only the future cities which are yet to happen, but how we modify, balance the existing cities so that the quality of urban life is improved, the carbon footprint of the city is reduced. And you could argue that what is good for the individual is also good for the planet. Our hope is that the visitor will leave this exhibition with perhaps a greater understanding of the importance of the environment, the urbanity of a city, the importance of the individual buildings, and how all these come together to affect all of us, the quality of our urban life.